Hello, welcome to Bored and Confused, where I review shows based on two criteria. One, was I bored? Two, was I confused? Today's show is Label-less, playing off-Broadway at the Duke Theater. Now, before I get into this all-singing, all-dancing show, please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me grow this channel and get press tickets to see shows like Label-less and tell you about what's going on in the world of New York theater. All right, so going in to see this, what did I know about it? I thought this was going to be a dance show, but it's not. I think I thought that because it's created by Drew and his wife, Lachey. She's a choreographer and he was in a boy band and was on Dancing with the Stars, so I just thought there's going to be a lot of dance. And there's a lot of dance, but it's not really a dance show. What it is a show choir show. It features 17 young performers doing short little monologues and songs with dances about this idea of what it would be like to go without labels. At least that's how the show begins. They give us this monologue or this voice as it shows close-up photos of all of the performers. And it talks about how great it would be if they could live without labels. But then the show proceeds to have each one of these people kind of talk about an experience of what it's like to be gay or to be black or to be a woman or to have issues with your body or to suffer with depression. And so they're saying they don't want labels, but at the same time they're kind of categorizing themselves into these different categories, labels. So all of these songs are basically in service of this idea that we should look past labels and remember our shared humanity. So how did this show come to be? So Drew and Leah did an exercise in an acting class where they had the students anonymously write down examples of when they felt they had been discriminated against. And then they took this material and they decided it was worth turning into a show. They did a one-night preview at Theater Row in 2023, and then they had an off-Broadway premiere, and now it's back for an encore engagement at the Duke on 42nd Street. And it's running till the end of August. So this show is billed as a musical experience. When I went into it, I really didn't understand what it was. But once it began, I quickly was like, oh, this is a show choir. I used to be in show choirs when I was in like junior high, high school. So I know one when I see one. And they do a really good job. As far as show choirs go, this is an excellent show choir show. The performers are all very skilled. We've got really skilled dancers. We've got really skilled singers. They do a really good job of mixing the singers and the dancers together, so you're not really aware of who does what. As you watch it further, you're like, oh, okay, those five are mainly dancers. But they do a really good job of just blending everyone together. The set is a brick wall and the scaffolding, and everyone's dressed in different outfits in all black that are supposed to like kind of represent who they are as people, although it did feel a little bit like a lot of these costumes could have just been pulled out of Forever 21. I don't know if anyone's familiar with the show choir Up With People. It was this Christian singing, dancing group that would do all these really uplifting, energized number, and they would travel around the world and the country, kind of spreading Christianity. And this feels very much exactly in the same vein, although because this is all about people, how they feel discriminated, there's not a lot of joy in this show so much as there's a lot of angst. And so instead of up with people, it's kind of like angst with people. It's these Gen Z people's take on what it's like to have the pressures of having to conform, having the way their body looks, what it's like to be a woman, black person, blah, 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 etc. And watching this show, I just felt like you're really preaching to the choir. We're off Broadway. We all know that, yes, you shouldn't murder black people. Women should be paid a fair wage. And yes, gay people deserve dignity. And it's really preaching it at you. Like, you need to know this. And I'm like, yeah, I know it. The show consists of about 15, 16 songs. Watching the show, I was a little confused who wrote these songs. At first I thought, well, clearly the monologues were written by these performers, which makes me really wonder how this was developed, because if the idea came from an acting class, did they then recreate that for these performers? Because it really felt like these performers were sharing their own monologues. Maybe they weren't. Maybe they're sharing other people's monologues and just acting them. But listening to this, it sounded like the monologues belonged to the performers, but the songs, I also was wondering if they had a hand in writing those, because these were songs I was not familiar with. But they're all written in kind of a contemporary pop style. But then we came to It's a Man's World by James Brown, and I was like, well, wait, they didn't write that. And so there were about 4 songs. Lady Gaga's Born This Way was in there, Sam Cooke's Change, and the song Rise Up. Those were all songs that I was familiar with, very famous songs, but then there's these other songs that I just didn't know where they came from. Well, I'll tell you now where they came from so you won't be confused. Most of the score it's a collection of songs, but several of these songs, 6 of these songs were written by a composer named Paul Duncan, who writes contemporary Christian music. And so they've got these feelings of these songs are very much about doing better. I think that's the name of one song. And I think one of the first songs was like, what would it be like to be in someone else's shoes? I found a lot of these songs really kind of fell into cliches, like walk a mile in someone else's shoes and seeing each other for who we are. These kind of ideas that we've heard a lot. This review is going to be all over the place. I'm just winging it. So let's get into positives and negatives. On positives, I said they do a good job of the director of weaving this whole cast together. The cast is genuinely strong. I thought the singers were really strong. The dancers were great. I mean, everyone is just really, really good at what they're doing on the stage. The director has made sure that every person in this cast looks good and sounds good. I'd say my biggest negative of this show is just that there is no comedy in this show. I just don't understand doing 100 minutes of a show and not having any laughs. You could call the show humorless. And I get that it's about people facing discrimination, so it's all very angsty and heartfelt, but it starts to feel a little bit precious. And just give me some humor. If I was watching a university showcase of their music theater graduates, some people would do ballads, some would do angsty songs, but some people would do an up-tempo happy number. Where are the clowns? Bring them in. And then on top of that, the whole world is monochromatic. Most of the projections are black and white or pretty unsaturated images. Everyone's wearing black outfits. I just really, to help show their personalities, I was like, let these people wear color. Just add some brightness to this. I think the sound designer did a really good job of making a lot of the lyrics intelligible, considering how amplified this sound is. Also, we start out with an acoustic guitar, this guy singing, but then the rest of the show, a track comes in midway, and then the tracks are so loud we can't hear the acoustic guitar anymore. And I just was, for the longest time, I was like, why is he even playing now? We can't hear him. And I gotta say, this is a big pet peeve I have. Stop amplifying the shows like you're in a stadium or a Broadway house when you're in a 500 off-Broadway house. This show was so over-amplified. I'm someone who has tinnitus in one of my ears. My ear rings if you play really loud sounds at me. And I have to put my fingers in my ear when I'm seeing these shows because you're playing the music too loud. Stop it. So was I bored? Was I confused? I did get bored with the show mainly because the way it's structured is there's a monologue about my body issues and then she'll sing a song about her body issues. And so it was that kind of redundancy, but then it was also the pacing was exactly the same. We did a monologue, then we did a song, then we did a monologue, then we did a song. And then the songs, although some are ballads and some are up-tempos, but they all have the same kind of earnest feeling to them. I needed to be changed up at some point. Also, these monologues, they weren't exciting in the way that like the monologues in a chorus line are so specific and interesting. And these all just felt like monologues that anybody, they were just kind of generic things that Gen Z probably would feel like they're going through at this time. That being said, I do think the show will land with Gen Z, teenager, young people. I think they will really relate to what these young people are saying. I think they'll put themselves in that. They'll say, oh, I wish I could get up there and sing and dance about my feelings. So I think that is really who this is geared towards. But I think your general off-Broadway audience is going to be a little bored by this because you're preaching to the choir and then it's just not doing anything terribly exciting. And that leads me to my confusion, which really is, why are we doing this show off-Broadway? That's just, as I was watching it, I was like, okay, this is a good show choir show, but why are we doing this off-Broadway? So let me wrap this up. Labelless is a simple show. It's a show choir show of 17 really talented singers and dancers. They sound great. They look great. They do everything really well, and that's really the reason to go see the show, is to see this performer. I'm going to call out Paola Marcias. I really loved her voice. She sang two of the songs I knew. She sang It's a Man's World, and she sang a duet version of Rise Up, who she sang with Kayla Nicole Harris, who also had a really great voice. Those two sounded so good together. And I also loved Aaron Gillis Jr.'s version of Sam Cooke's Change. I thought was great, but all of the singing was great. Everyone really shone in their solo moments, and all the dancers really shone in their dance moments. So this does exactly that. It delivers this message. It's very well-meaning. It's really well performed, and it doesn't really ask anything difficult from the audience. So if you like show choirs, if you like stories of people telling you things you already know, if you like seeing young performers doing their thing, then this is the show for you. So I saw this on a press ticket. I was in row F, right in the middle of the house, but honestly, this is such a small theater that any seat is good, and it wasn't a full house when I saw it, so I think you can get a decent seat for not much. In fact, the discount tickets are very easy to come by. There's a 33 digital rush available through TodayTix app, and those are released on 9 a.m. the day of the show. There's also TDF tickets for a similar price, and regular tickets start at $45 through the show's own website. So that is Labelless. Go check it out, or if you've already seen it, please comment below and let me know what you thought of the show. And I hope the next thing you see, you will not be bored or confused. Bye.
Don't wanna drift away, wanna stay inside the play. Keep me engaged, keep me amused with what's in front